Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So it's official, Creator Clash 3 has been canceled. I know this is very disappointing news for all 15 people planned on attending this event, but now we can look at this and say, yup, Idubbbz and Anisa, they really did trash this event. Now for those not familiar, Creator Clash is an event that was created by Idubbbz and his wife Anisa. It was a boxing event featuring content creators. The first Creator Clash was a financial success. The second one was a financial disaster. And as you can see, Creator Clash 3, it never had a chance. Not only was it poorly promoted in the early months after it was announced, we had the dreaded content cop on H3 that was uploaded by Idubbbz that served as a massive PR nightmare for not just Idubbbz and his wife, but also the event because it was basically their project. And people did not want to support Creator Clash 3 after all of the negative associations that came from this video, the new friends that he was showing off, Hasan and his orbiters, and the really just terrible quality of his video itself. It just really served to damage Creator Clash 3. And here is the official announcement. Basically, all the existing pay-per-view ticket holders will receive an automatic refund, and all the people who obviously were going there in person are getting a refund. This whole thing has been an absolute disaster, and there's a lot of crashing out from the related parties, and there's also a lot of people laughing. Let's go to the comment section of this post, and it's just gold. You can see Nux first here saying, can't believe the Jews would do this. You know, you laugh, but they're gonna find a way to blame it on them. Don't worry. Tectone just saying LMAO. Brandon Buckingham saying another big W in the books for Team Idubbbz. Great job, Anisa. Omni saying that's crazy. Nicholas Light saying deserve. This person asking Grok to add bees, which they did. But you can see, right, a lot of people are clowning on this, but also people are trying to spin this somehow on Ethan Klein. It's his fault this event got canceled. You can see lots of comments like this. This person saying, Ethan literally bullied a charity event into canceling. Now, understand this, Creator Clash 2 did so poorly financially, they couldn't raise money for charity because they couldn't even cover their own expenses. Knowing that, they went into Creator Clash 3, this is now public knowledge, with no charity aspect in mind. It wasn't even a function of Creator Clash 3. So the people saying Ethan caused this charity event to be canceled, they're just making stuff up. It was never a charity event, and also Ethan is not responsible. This is so obvious. Even people like Ludwig got off the fence and made an opinion and said this is not Ethan's fault. And boy, is Hasan going to put him over his knee for this take. But anyways, you can see who's really at fault here. It's Idubbbz and Anisa. Okay, right from the jump, they did not promote Creator Clash 3 well at all. And then the content cop comes out and the PR surrounding this event takes a nosedive. They lost all goodwill. They have no one to blame but themselves. Yes, they did step down about a month ago from their ownership role, but it was way too late. It was a complete disaster already, and it was thanks to them. Now, of course, we look around at the two main parties here, the happy couple. Idubbbz here on Twitter, what does he have to say? Well, nothing. He hasn't said anything about Creator Clash 3 so far. I guess he's cooking up his next magnum opus over on YouTube. Maybe this time he'll get over a 50-50 like to dislike ratio. Fingers crossed. But Anisa's been doing the fighting, okay? Anisa's been chirping a lot on Twitter. She is crashing out, and it's not good. And she's definitely feeling a little extra pressure right now because Ethan very recently stated that he's done with Idubbbz. He's now going to focus on Anisa.
I'm not done. I'll never be done. I will never be done with you. That's how much you've betrayed me and how much I want you to know how much you lose and I win. Do you understand, Anisa? And I'm not even talking to Idubbbz anymore. He's insignificant. He's gone. Anisa, you're the one. You're coming center stage. You're going to start streaming now. I want you to understand something.
Yes.
I am never going to be done.
I gotta tell you, I am loving the villain arc from Ethan Klein. It's probably his best arc in a very, very long time. He's getting back at all the people who've been pushing him around for a long time, and the people he's going after boy, they don't like it when they're the targets, do they? But here's Anisa's fabulous response to a person sharing that clip we just watched, saying, "I don't care, bitch. Join the club of ugly, out-of-touch losers." Why would you want Ethan to join your club? That doesn't make any sense. Jokes aside, right? We see this all the time from Anisa and her ilk as well, where they don't have an actual criticism or anything valid to say. They just call the other person ugly. She does this all the time. And in defense of herself, she calls herself hot or attractive, like that proves her point anymore. It's very juvenile. This is the stuff you see from a middle school bully. But anyway, she had a lot more to say, including this thread saying, "I'm once again asking what my ultimate sin was, aside from being married to the man who made the content cop on the quote-unquote king. Ethan doesn't know us as well as he claims, especially not me. He's as knowledgeable about our private life as the average viewer. I don't believe you. That seems very disingenuous. There is no way someone who is real-life friends with you and your husband for years doesn't know you any better than the average viewer. I don't believe that whatsoever. You're just trying to make him look like he's some like crazy schizo who's like trying to pry into your lives and he doesn't know anything about it. That is definitely not true." But she continues on saying, "I have never mentioned CPS. It didn't appear in the content cop. Ding, ding, ding. That was one of the biggest complaints from people who watched the video. Idubbbz intentionally omitted any mention of the malicious CPS call made on Ethan and his family because it would make people take pity on Ethan because it was a terrible situation and likely started with the communities that were featured in the video. The communities of some of the content creators from that content cop." But let's continue on. "I have only ever replied to Ethan privately with kindness despite him spam texting us deranged nonsense." Wow, she's really exercising the Hasan system where you make your opponent look insane and someone that should be laughed at and not taken seriously. She's doing a really good job taking after her handler, Hasan Piker here. But she continues on, "His inference that I have any control over Ian's choices is from watching slop-tubers' parasocial ramblings." Yeah, any person who just watched the last 5 to 7 years of Idubbbz's content and the way his personality has clearly changed, I think there's some kind of an influence going on there. I don't think it's parasocial to make very apparent observations about how his opinions and his behavior has been warped over the past couple of years. Another thing I want to point out is this section where she says she only replies to Ethan with kindness. I'll ask you this. Does this look like kindness? This was during the debates Ethan Klein had with Hasan, and this was her live tweet reaction saying what is going on, and then she said drugs, referring to Ethan's tics where he moves his hands or he makes certain facial expressions. It's because he has Tourette's, and Anisa knows that, but she fed into this disgusting lie about him that he's a drug addict. That's why he's shaking or making certain facial expressions. This is someone who knew him and knew he had Tourette's, but of course, in her kindness, refers to his tics as the effect of drugs. But let's continue on. She also shared this, an old reply from Ethan Klein with this emoji here with a monocle, like she's trying to make a point where basically he says people who watch our podcast don't know about our private lives. Yeah, but you're not like a random viewer. You were someone who knew him in real life, so that doesn't even apply. Like, what are you talking about? But down in the replies, we have a wild Casey Tron appearance right here. She says the dehumanization that happens towards you as a woman in content creation is unreal. Men we work alongside are cheering Alligator Auschwitz, affiliated with sex pests and R-worders, making jokes about children drowning, etc. But God forbid I react to a video everyone reacted to. She still doesn't know why she's being sued. It's crazy. She still doesn't know anything about this lawsuit. She doesn't understand copyright infringement to this day. It's amazing. But Anisa replies saying it's insane. The witch burning is out of control. And it's so insane that it feels like it's somehow gotten worse. Like, I don't remember it being this bad in 2014, but maybe I just have rose-colored glasses. We are like the elders of the streaming world now, LOL. Then Casey Tron says, well, a certain someone is rallying the incel troops behind him. Of course, it's the incels once again, because it's all he has left, so why not target women like you, me, Denims, Frogan, Taylor Lorenz, who have been universally hated and borderline stalked by these incel freaks for years. I'm assuming she's referring to Ethan Klein here. She must be. So she's calling Ethan Klein a married man with children an incel once again. And look at this very bigoted, rude user who says, "Can you post proof you're being harassed by Ethan?" And Anisa says, "Your reply is proof." This is evidence of someone being harassed, someone asking for proof. These people are so soft and so out of their mind. The victim mentality is off the charts. They couldn't play the role of a victim any harder if they tried. But of course we have Casey Tron here, and this is someone who's been promoted by Anisa. Anisa has tried to get people to pay her GoFundMe. And of course, we have that lawsuit, the 3 sets of copyright infringement lawsuits targeting Frogan, Denims, and Casey Tron, filed by, of course, Ethan Klein. Now, of course, Casey Tron is someone who's doing their best in shocking fashion. She is winning the race with $43,000 raised, 43% of her $100,000 goal. Now, over the past 4 or 5 days since we talked about this last, she has raised maybe like $200. The wheels have really fallen off, and I'm going to do the bit again. Guys in the chat, can we get some super thanks? Can we raise more than she's raised in the past 4 or 5 days? And don't say anything. You guys are my enablers, okay? You've been enabling me to keep doing this bit because it keeps working. So let's see if we can raise more than her GoFundMe has in the past couple of days through super thanks. Thank you, Oilers, once again. But let's move on here, right? Casey Tron has been having a bit of a moment. She's clearly going through it. She asks here to have the Lord save her from these incels. I don't think the Lord is saving you. I think the Lord is very far away from you. In fact, she decided to make this tweet. Brace yourself. Apparently she's not getting enough attention. She says this: "Jesus was the first communist and the government crucified him for it. Conservative Christians don't want to wake that tea up." Okay, religion is not tea. Also, you can see Nux down here. 2 appearances in this video. Wow. He quotes the Old Testament and some things that directly contradict her wild and disgusting claim. You can even go to the New Testament, like Ephesians 4:28, okay? But we don't have to do that. We don't have to dig deep on this claim because people like Casey Tron, they're trying to talk about faith in order to weaponize it for their own interest, when in reality, they have no interest in what they're talking about. They have no respect for what they're talking about. Clearly, right here. And also, there's this trend on social media where people talk about religion, not just Christianity, but any religion, where they say things about it that reflect their own agenda, and they try to interpret and twist things about that religion to serve themselves, and then they try to tell the people who are actually faithful to those religions how they're supposed to practice or how they're supposed to view their own religion. And Casey Tron's doing that once again. It's so obvious. She doesn't believe in anything she's talking about. She's just trying to twist it for her own agenda. But let's continue on, because we also have the gaggle of orbiters who are in the content cop itself. And that's, of course, Frogan and Denims. Let's begin right here with Frogan. So the 2-time rising Twitch star, she's been pretty much MIA. She finally came back after a week-long vacation. Not a very good time to go on vacation when you're trying to get people to, give money for your GoFundMe. But the latest thing she did was retweet this tweet saying, "Here's some ironic satire for you. I hate my effing life." Yeah, I think she's going through it. And if I was looking at this GoFundMe, she's in last place with 34,000. And unfortunately for her, her goal is 200,000. So that's 17%. And it's been a couple weeks now. So I don't know if she's going to get there unless someone comes in and literally just pays the rest in one shot. That's the only chance she has. And then we have Denims, of course, who's not doing much better. She's a little more vocal these days, doing her normal activism on Twitter, but she hasn't gained much money either. She's at 38,000. She was at 37,000 like a week ago. She's at 38%. It's just really going nowhere. But there was an interesting theory here from Asmongold, who was reacting to one of my videos where I was talking about Casey Tron. He reacted to a portion of it, and he came up with a really good idea, a content machine, if you will. I'm not going to play this clip because she's playing Evanescence, Bring Me to Life.
This almost makes you want to donate to our GoFundMe. It does. This is so stupid. This is so stupid that I just want to make sure it happens. Oh my god. Read the comments. Typical cult behavior. F you incels. Oh god.
Yeah, I've been saying this from the jump. There's no scenario where Ethan is not catching a W. If these 3 people do not fulfill the goal of their GoFundMe, they're probably not going to get good attorneys for their case, and they're going to get smoked in the courthouse. Or they fulfill the GoFundMes, and that just adds more money to the bucket for Ethan to collect in a settlement. Pretty much no scenario where he doesn't win with these sets of lawsuits. But there's another orbiter I want to talk about, a very unexpected one, and I'm honestly just scratching my head at this whole situation involving her. So here's Peach Jars, a popular content creator who very recently announced, just on July 2nd, so like 5 or so days before the event was canceled, she announced that she was going to be participating in Creator Clash 3 as one of the boxers. And now she's quoting this on the 7th, saying, "Oh no, anyways." And then she says, "Long story short, yes, I knew, but I made the video 2 months ago and I still wanted to post it, LOL." And of course you can see the replies are locked because it's not going well. I'm sorry, so you promoted this event and said you were participating in it despite knowing it was going to be canceled and you knew 2 months ago. Why would you do that? Like, yes, you spent money on creating the video, but people also probably spent money on buying tickets, whether it's pay-per-view or what have you, and now they got to get refunds. Why would you do that? Like, I'm sorry, people think this is like really funny and like a brave move on her, and she's like mocking this whole thing. She knew about it for 2 months. Why would she promote it other than just to like get attention? I don't know, but people were asking this. Did it not occur to you that your fans would spend real life money on potentially non-refundable plane tickets and hotels to see this event when you knew that this event would not happen and you were acting for 5 days as if it would happen? Did that not cross your mind? And that's another thing too. People might have booked hotels or plane tickets and they might not be able to get a refund. And she says the event wasn't even selling tickets. Also, when I posted the announcement, they were going to announce the cancellation the next day, but pushed it back. I wasted $3,000 on a video and 2 months of training. I think this is a reach. No. Why would you do it at all? Like, I'm sorry, again, you wasted money on this, but that's not the problem of other people. If you want to find a solution to this, go to the Creator Clash team, go to even Anisa or Idubbbz and try to figure something out. Like, that's not like the mature response, like, oh, I wasted a bunch of money on this event and it got canceled, so now I'm going to promote it even like it's happening and people might waste their money too. Makes no sense. And this person says, you just completely ignored that they said plane tickets and a hotel. And she says, yes, I understand that. That's what sucks about the announcement moving back, makes my bit not land, and that's my fault in the end. I just assumed people wouldn't buy tickets for an event in October that wasn't even selling seats. Why? Why would you assume that? Like, wouldn't people who are your fans like want to support you and go see you at Creator Clash? Like, do you think nobody was excited to see the announcement? Like, surely someone went out there and bought a ticket. It's just very bizarre. Like, it's such a weak set of excuses, and it doesn't help this whole bit aspect. Like, oh, it's all just a bit before they canceled it. Like, people like Denims would repost this and share it, and a lot of other people did too. Just doesn't make any sense. But I do feel bad for everyone involved with Creator Clash 3 in one regard. A lot of them did train for months, and she did as well. And it's kind of wasted. It's not all for nothing in a sense, right? You see all these people that were participating. It wasn't all for nothing. Some people got content out of it. Other people just got, the benefit of training and pushing themselves. But it's not really that black and white. You see people like Sapnap saying, well, it does feel a little shameless, this whole thing being canceled like this, but he's not regretting the entire thing. It's not a 100% waste to him. But there's another weird story going on here with this guy, Nathan. His name is Dad, for the purpose of content creation. And he's 44 years old, and he pushed himself to the absolute limits. And he was doing this because he wanted to financially benefit from the events.
Now I'm in YouTube boxing, A, because it's fun and I only have a few more years left in it because I'm getting older and it's like something to do as a life achievement. And B, because it's the only thing that's kind of really giving me some cash because like YouTube money is so low.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like a starving artist. But, you know, when I look back on it all, I'll be happy. I'm actually going to be applying to be a garbage man in LA in the next week. I have the website open on my browser over here.
What?
I need to make money, so I'm gonna be a garbage man. I'm gonna see if they'll like let me do it 2 days a week, but I have a feeling because all the listings say like 40 hours a week. So I'm gonna try to I might film it too and get some content out of it, I guess. Like maybe I can double it up.
How much do you get paid?
My whole thing for me is like I'm 44. I have to box. The big reason I'm on this podcast right now is because I really want to fight on Misfits. I want to do Creator Clash 3. I'm talking to Mams yesterday. I'm trying so hard to get on the next event because I only have like this tiny window left to do this. I'm having these neck problems with the pinched nerve. I see spots now, like flashes a lot from sparring this year. And I'm like, oh my God, the window's closing.
Yeah, not a very good look. And Anisa would respond to this saying a lot. I'm not going to read it. It's exhausting. Okay. She basically pushes blame on everyone else. She says, well, we stepped down from this event. We're not responsible, which, you know, you promoted this event and he joined under your watch. But now that you've left, you have no responsibility. I mean, maybe in a very literal sense, but just out of like a concern for someone who was doing this to benefit your event originally, it seems kind of crappy to act like you have nothing to do with it. On top of that, she blames things like the economy. The economy did this. It's just a complete lack of accountability. That's not surprising whatsoever. But this whole situation is an absolute mess. Nobody should feel sorry for Idubbbz and Anisa. They really torched this event. They did everything in their power to torch this event. And now it's official. There's no Creator Clash 3. It could not survive. Didn't survive a changing of leadership. And that's not too surprising. This thing was doomed right from the moment it was announced. But for now, that's going to do for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.